Good morning. It is May 1st, Wednesday morning. Pretty wild that we made it this far. We are on the 5th month of the year. We're 4 months in. For me personally, it's pretty close to 4 months in on doing these rides. And so for those of you that have been here since the beginning, thank you. Now, I talked a little bit about this on Monday, but I may be ending the live at least through the summertime. I haven't quite decided yet, and I know I talked a little bit about holy cow, what happened here? So I know I talked about how difficult it is probably going to be for me to be able to take my bike off of this trainer, put it back on, so that I can be riding outside throughout the week when I'm not doing these rides, the live rides. So I haven't decided 100% yet, but I'm kind of thinking that I may just stop doing this for the summertime. Not sure yet, but I'll let you know ahead of time. And it may be as soon as next week that I'm not going to do these lives. Now, it doesn't mean that I won't be going live for other things. As a lot of you have seen on Facebook, I've been sharing more and more as it relates to what I do as it relates to marketing. And so some of you will continue to see that, but even those, I'm probably going to get more specific on what exactly, different topics. So the marketing stuff will probably end up going to my marketing page, and some of the wellness stuff will go to the Oaf Life group and page and website. And I may be going into another venture soon. Still kind of in the discovery phase of that, which is helping people with their credit. A lot of people don't know that I've been working in that world for about 5 years now, behind the scenes, and I think I've got some value to offer people, and I can actually help them. So if I decide to do that, again, I'll let you guys know, but that'll probably be a separate Facebook business page if I choose to actually do that. We'll see. There's a definite need for it, and I've got enough experience now, 5 years, that, like I said, I can help a lot of people, I believe. But we'll see. I decided today to do this desert route again, and I did it one other time, and I liked it. So it's a pretty flat route, so I'm feeling pretty good this morning. I probably could have picked something with a little bit more elevation on it, but for now I'm good. I mean, it's kind of crazy that, again, like I said, May 1st, it's 4 months in of this ride. And in the beginning, I remember how horrible it felt just getting used to sitting on this, this cycling seat. And it's not that I don't have experience. I mean, for years now, I've been riding trails, but obviously only in the warm months. And I was doing 20-mile days multiple times per week. But when you're riding in a stationary, situation, you're not moving around as much, and it just tends to hurt your ass a little more. So I was surprised how long it took to get used to it. And even the other day, it kind of caught up to me about 40 minutes in for some reason. But I do look forward to finally getting to a point where I might be able to get outside and start riding after work. So we'll see. After my work day is done, I might be hitting the trail. And of course, that's a time for my girls and I actually to get out and ride. They're not as enthusiastic as I am when it comes to doing it, but they go along anyways. As they get a little bit older, there's always a chance that won't, that I may not be able to convince them to go along with me, but fortunately they're still at the age that they just go along without too many complaints. A lot of you guys that have been following me and had some questions about some of the marketing classes. Some of you know that I've been involved in training this master class. Monday night was my first night, and that's the first time I've done a master class type training in a live webinar where we had the ability to interact with the participants. And so that was, I was pretty nervous going into it which is normal. I mean, anytime you get doing something new, it gets to be, you're always going to be a little nervous if you're human, at least. And so I chose to share that with everybody. And it didn't take long for me, once the training started, to get comfortable and for everything to just kind of flow. Now, I will tell you that I appreciated having a partner involved, because what I discovered very quickly was that it's almost impossible to manage the chat side of it or the question side of it, along with keeping on track with what you're teaching. And so any of you that do similar things, I know I have a lot of other people that do similar coaching and or training. You probably should have a moderator at the very least help you along, because it would be incredibly challenging. I probably didn't understand how challenging that was going to be until last night. And last night I played the monitor role while my partner did his training, and it worked out flawlessly. And the way that it went, he really wasn't aware of any technical issues that were going on. There were quite a few participants that had connection issues on their end, so their internet wasn't very strong. And so I was able to deal with that without him having to stop the flow. And of course, we also went ahead and recorded all of that. So those people that were part of the course, even if they missed it, they're going to get a high quality recording of it so they can go back. And last night's training was pretty powerful stuff. And I even suggested to the group that they watch it 2 or 3 times, even though it was close to an hour long. I think it'd be worth their while to not only take notes, but watch it over and over again. It really talked about, once you get a lead, what do you do next? So once you get a customer, when you're in the online marketing world, what do you do next? What's the conversation? And how do you transition that over to, offering whatever your solution is to them, if it fits, and how you handle objections and things like that. So it was pretty powerful stuff. And remember, we speak directly to online marketers and the people that are primarily getting started in that world, or even people that have been doing it for a while but have not been, not had success. And in most cases, what I find is that their lack of success is because they're following the wrong people. They're taking advice from the wrong people. They're emulating people that they think are successful, and what they don't realize, I guess I'll throw a couple nuggets here. One of the things that you don't realize, that when you emulate somebody else that you believe is successful, is that there's a big long backstory there that they're not telling you, or you're not seeing. Even if they're not hiding it from you, you may not be seeing the fact that they've been doing it for years and they've built their audience over years. And so they may be able to get a little lazy as it relates to how marketing should be handled online and get away with it. For instance, I don't have to tell you much about Nike. You already know who that company is. They've already built their brand. I don't have to tell you a whole lot about, Tony Robbins. You already know who he is. He's built his brand. So even though those two companies do a lot of marketing and advertising, they've already built their following. Even if people don't like them, they know who they are and what they do and what they stand for. Even if they don't trust them, maybe it's not good products. Maybe you've had some issues with their products in the past. Or maybe you've bought a course from one of them and it just wasn't what you thought it would be, or you felt like you got duped. Regardless of whether you like or trust them, you absolutely understand who they are through their brand. So they're recognizable. So people don't realize that you can't, let's say somebody wanted to be a motivational speaker, you can't just try to be Tony Robbins. You can't repeat what he does. You can't emulate how he does things, because he's been doing it for over 39 years or 40 years, somewhere in there. And I can promise you he wasn't as good 40 years ago as he is today. So we just teach people how to build that foundation the proper way so that they're marketing, well, one, they're building their brand really in some respects, and then they're actually marketing it in a very good way that when you get to that point of people wanting to know if they should buy from you, they've already convinced themselves that they want to. That conversation ends up being fairly easy, but there's always a chance that you're going to run into some objections. And so last night's training was really good for a lot of people. Oh man. Finally, May, we are finally warming up here in Michigan. I think this weekend is supposed to be really nice. And I think we got rain today, maybe the next day, but I already know this weekend's supposed to be a really, really nice weekend, so I'm looking forward to that. I don't know any of you that are familiar with morel mushrooms, but from what I've been told, morel mushrooms are coming in this weekend, or they're already here in Michigan. So I think the girls and I are probably going to go out and see if we can find some. We're blessed to live somewhat within about 2,000 acres of state game area, and so we can walk right out our door and hit the trails. So that's kind of my plan for the weekend with the girls is to do that. And then they have their final horseback riding lesson on Sunday, and so we have to make a decision sometime in the near future on future lessons. But I know that it's been really good. I've been so impressed with them and their trainer, and not so much with the riding side of it, but what it takes to get a horse ready before you get daily. So cleaning, brushing, putting on the gear, cleaning their feet, and the fact that my girls are just getting right in there. And Olivia is just one of those, she just does it. She just gets in there and does it, and to me it's pretty impressive. And of course Sarah's a little apprehensive at times, thinking the horse is maybe gonna step on her or hurt her, and so she's not as confident, but she still does okay, and she's learning, and that's just overcoming her own little fear. And it's not a little fear. I mean, these are giant animals. It would not feel good if they stepped on you. So I understand, but Olivia, for instance, just gets in there and just takes control of her horse, and the horse respects her immediately. It's been great, man. And then, in all fairness to Sarah, she kind of has an asshole horse, so it doesn't cooperate as much, which is okay. I mean, it's not a dangerous horse. It's just one that I've noticed will try to take control and test Sarah, and but she's done good and she's loved it. She's out of the two. I think she actually really would like to continue lessons or doing something. So we'll figure it out. It's been a great opportunity for them, and it was a gift that I gave them at Christmas time. So I bought them 5 separate lessons, and we just spread them out over the last 4 months. And I know they've enjoyed it, and I did a little video. I don't know if any of you guys were able to see that, but I did a small video. I was going to wait till the end of the 5th lesson to put it together, but I had some new software, video editing software I wanted to put, I wanted to use and try out, and that was the only real footage that I had available at the time that had not already been converted into some kind of content. So I put it together after 3 lessons. It turned out pretty good for its purpose. So yeah, so that'll be Sunday. And then of course we finish up our master class Sunday evening. And it's been exciting because one of the things we included in this master class was 2 one-hour training sessions with both myself and my partner coach Ivan. And so now we get to interact with each of these individuals on a more personal basis and answer any questions that they have, and let them use us however they want to. If they've got very specific questions, for me in the more technical arena, as far as like what buttons should I push, what software should I buy, how do I set this up, how do I do certain things, how do I make what I'm doing better, that's an opportunity for us to sit together and really get them better. And honestly, that part of the course, they're saving a ton of money because of what we charge per hour normally, and so that being included is a big value for them. And then of course Ivan is just like, I know people don't like this word, but he's just like a mindset master. So whatever's in your way keeping you from becoming successful, he does a great job of getting you past that, or really in a lot of cases identifying it. And what I think is most impressive about what he does is that identification side of it, where you may not even realize what's holding you back, and somehow in the conversations with him it starts to get identified, and really people can't get past themselves until they understand what's holding them back. And so he does a great job with that, and so that's been really fun to watch. And I know that everybody gets a chance to spend time with him just gains great value. We do a lot of our one-on-one coaching with software, and so we're able to do that really face-to-face. We don't use Skype, but as a way to explain what we use, Skype would probably be the best comparison so that you guys would understand it a little bit. So we don't use Skype, but just pretend that we're on a Skype call, video call, where we're able to interact face-to-face, and we're able to, in some cases, share our screen so we can show them certain things, how to do certain things. And of course we have the ability to record our sessions so we can share those recordings. So it turns out to be pretty good. It works out for most people. And again, the cost of the course really doesn't cover what we charge per hour for our coaching, and so it turns into an amazing value, I think, for those people that come along. We are working on some more online master course training opportunities for people, and so if you missed out on this one, don't fret. We will be having more in the future. You know, it's been well received so far, and I know it's helping a lot of people. And so we'll be doing that again in the future, and I'll let everybody know that missed out on this one when the next course is available. We'll also be turning this live course into something you can actually purchase, so we are recording all of them. So you'll be able to purchase the course that we are doing this week at a later date. What you'll be missing is the live interaction. You won't have the ability to ask questions on the fly. And we haven't decided yet if we're going to offer the 2 hours of free coaching with that course or not yet. We haven't quite made a decision on that yet, but we will decide before we make the offering. It really is going to depend on what our schedules look like and how booked we are, whether or not we add that element to it. But for these type of courses, when we do a master class and we do them live, I think that it's just an extra, even if it was only an hour, that extra hour of personal time one-on-one with either Ivan or myself is going to answer a lot of questions. For me, very specifically, if there was something technical that somebody needed, getting an hour of my time to answer those questions and show them how to do something that they're not sure about, for most people is invaluable. What I found with the older generation, at least, is that they're stepping online and they're building their brand for their company, and in most cases they really just need to be shown how to click buttons. You know, they don't know what software to use, they're not sure how to do certain things, and they just need that extra little bit of coaching to help them out. And so I love it because I'm able to use 20 years of personal experience to help other people. I would say that with Ivan, it's a little bit longer. You know, 1 hour probably isn't enough with him because, you know, when people have issues that it's all mindset, you know, that takes a little more time for some people. Not everybody. Some people it's pretty quick. You'll get like the idea of what's holding you back, and then you can start formulating possibly even your own plan. But for other people, they need that continuous coaching. And so it's pretty valuable. And of course, we do offer longer term coaching opportunities. And we use the word coach because it's familiar. I mean, is it mentorship? Is it coaching? It is whatever it is, you know. It's just us helping with what we know, helping other people. We have some pretty exciting things coming up here in the near future with the rest of our team, where for some of you out there, you know, you are experts in your field and you don't really need a whole lot of coaching, but you're ready to, let's say, build a course yourself and share that with the world. We're going to have an opportunity, and we've been finalizing what I would call beta testing with course creation, and so we're going to have an opportunity very soon for you guys to actually have a back office where you can actually create your own courses. You can actually set up merchant accounts and be able to sell those courses to people. And matter of fact, I think we're even going to have an affiliate version of it so that you can have if you share a course with somebody and they really love it, you're going to have the opportunity, or they're going to have the opportunity to actually sell that course themselves on a commission-based system. So I mean, I think that's pretty awesome. For sure, that's a cool deal for most people. You know, if I have a course that I've went through and I think it's super valuable to other people that I'm training, and I had the opportunity to not only share that with them, they're going to have to purchase it anyways. So if the creator was willing to give me a small commission just for sharing it, I think I don't see anything wrong with that. Of course, the course has to be valuable, right? I mean, it's got to be a good course. Otherwise, what's the point of sharing? But yeah, I think that's cool. So I know I've got a lot of friends out there that are absolute experts in, I'm going to actually pick on one of my friends that I know is on here right now. But my friend Caleb is, I don't want to say I really know what he does, but he's like a bird expert. And with that, he's also pretty good with the camera. I mean, that's part of what he does. And I could easily see somebody like Caleb putting together a bird watching course and being able to have a platform to share that with other people. So pretty cool stuff. That's going to be coming up here, I think May 15th. So I'll let everybody know a little bit more about that as it comes along. Should be pretty exciting for everybody. You know, and it doesn't matter. I mean, I use Caleb as an example. Hopefully he doesn't mind. But it doesn't matter. I mean, if you were, let's say, a trainer or something like that, and you had, you know, a training plan that you wanted to give to people, and when I say trainer, I mean like a gym trainer, like a physical, you know, workout type trainer. This would be a great platform for people like that. Really anything. If you were a lawyer and you wanted to you know, were very specialized in something and you wanted to teach people about that, I mean, that would be a great example. If you were a baker and you wanted to start teaching people, you know, how to cook or how to do certain things that you're great at, I mean, it's kind of endless what you could use this platform to do. Realtors, I think could really use it, teaching people how to get their homes ready to sell, how to optimize getting profit, understanding the entire process. I'm working with a realtor right now, and we've really, I think, honed in on a very unique group for her to go after, because she's passionate about it. She's been through it herself, and she's helped quite a few people already in this little niche. And so I think it would be a great platform for her to reach out beyond her local market and help other people understand the benefits of this type of a real estate transaction and what they need to do and look out for, and how to make the most profit possible. Or on the other side of it, how, as a buyer, how to purchase this type of property and understand what kind of contractual obligation you've got yourself into when you do so. So there's a lot of cool things that people could do with this particular software that we're going to be offering here shortly, and I'm excited about it. I've actually been through the beta side of it myself, and have been working on some courses myself. Matter of fact, the master class will land in that particular world. So it's good stuff. I haven't really paid a lot of attention to my ride. Those of you guys, this is going to sound like a broken record, and because you hear me say it all the time, but if you're even considering doing what I'm doing here, where you're trying to stream your exercise online to your audience, I highly recommend it for one reason. The distraction you have in the conversation, the distraction that you have with chat. Matter of fact, if anybody chatted right now, it would actually pop up on the screen and I could see it. Making sure that everything's working properly it actually makes the ride go by super fast. You know, we're 28 minutes into the ride, and it's just a nice, easy ride today. Nothing strenuous, nice and flat. It's out in the desert, which I'm starting to feel like I'm in the desert right now. But when you do this type of setup, you almost forget that you're exercising, because you're taking the entire time to make sure that you're, you know, having a conversation with your followers, and you're trying to make sure that everything's working properly, like such as the chat, such as the streaming, the restreaming, in my case, a little bit of background music. I mean, so it's kind of a distraction from what you're actually doing. So I personally recommend it. For me, it makes the ride doable. Now, I don't have any trouble, I guess, having fun when I'm out riding outside, but riding inside for me, I think I would probably make it 15-20 minutes if I wasn't doing it this way, because I would be thinking of everything else that I need to get done, and I would be eventually jumping off the bike and doing it, right? I'm sure there's a lot of you out there, like, there's clothes that I need to fold. Well, I'd be probably saying, man, I got too much to do today and I don't have time for this. So for me, this works. I guess we'll leave it at that. If anybody has any questions of how to set this up, if they're interested in doing something similar, just reach out to me and private message me, and I can help you. If you're looking, maybe you're not a cyclist, maybe you like walking and or running, well, you can actually use the same software setup and do that also. If you're not really sure about using, let's say, green screens, that is a course I'm going to be putting together here shortly. But you can reach out to me. I'll tell you what to do. I'll tell you the things you need to buy and give you a few pointers on how to set it up. I probably should pick up the pace. I probably should, be going a little bit faster and getting a little better workout in this last 30 minutes. So we'll try to do that and not talk so much. But if you guys got any questions, just put them in your chat and they will pop up on the screen. And if you're not comfortable doing that, then you can go ahead and private message me, and I'll try to get back to you at a later time. I shouldn't say I'll try. I will. So I do also realize that I have a lot of followers from, not up here in the northern side of the United States of America. And so you guys don't fully appreciate our 4 seasons and why we all seem to get a little bit more, get excited and have a lot more energy this time of year. It's because this year, particularly, our winter started in October, and it was very cold this last October. And we've had close to freezing temperatures all the way through April. And so we're looking forward to hopefully getting past that. I'm sure Mother Nature will remind us maybe one more time that winter was here, but the grass is starting to grow, the leaves are starting to pop, and some of you are probably wondering why I'm looking around, because the way I have my setup here is I actually have 2 windows, pretty large windows in my riding room, and I'm able to look outside. So the leaves are just starting to bud, and so it just kind of makes you feel good. And of course the daylight, we have more daylight throughout the day, and that's always good. It gets a little tough up here in the wintertime when you have very short days and not much daylight. It's cold, maybe some things have broke that you've got to fix. I mean, it can get to the most positive person, it can get to you a little bit. And I know certain people would say, well, why don't you just move? Well, I think most people know the answer to that. We have family and friends, or our lives are where we're at. So even though we may complain a little at times, we really don't want to be anywhere else. In my case, my daughters are here, and so I'm not moving. When they graduate from high school and move on to university, we'll see. May head down south, and only spend a little bit of time up here in Michigan. I don't know yet. We got time. Even though I am a slightly older man. My daughters are only 11 and 12 years old, so there's time to decide. I'm actually in the process of potentially selling Camp David and actually moving closer to them. I'm not 100% sure that I'm going to do that, but I have an opportunity that it might make sense, and I know for them that would be great. For me too. I mean, they've lived an hour away from me for pretty much their entire life, you know, with only having visitation, and for me that's not been the greatest part of life to deal with. So I will look forward to the opportunity, if it comes true, to be able to actually be closer to them. And so that'll be fun. Be a little more involved and have a chance to, you know, help them do some more things after school that they're not maybe able to do right now. And so kind of running out of time, so now's the time to do it if I can. And our real estate market here in Michigan is insanely crazy, and so it's going to be the best opportunity for me to, you know, sell my house and not really looking to make a ton of money. I just make sure I can sell it. I mean, any of us that have owned homes over the last 10 years or more, we understand what happened to the housing market, and our home values are taking a long time to recoup. And so now, for most of us that held on, that made it through it, we're able to actually sell our home if we want to. Now, of course, you're not going to gain much in most cases, because you can sell your house for a pretty good dollar amount, but now whatever you're buying is also going to be, in some cases, feel overpriced. So sorry guys, I'm just reading a little chat here from Pamela that you guys can see. Of course, I'm blind, so I gotta read it on my phone. But yeah, for sure, Pamela, let's find time to chat and kind of see where each other is at. So yeah, there's some great opportunities I know in both of our futures. And for those of you that don't know, I know Pamela, so there's some great opportunities in both of our futures, and you know, there's some decisions that have to be made, and they're big decisions, they're life decisions. So yeah, I look forward to talking to you, Pamela, for sure. For me, it's a cool deal. For, you know, the fact that I have the opportunity to possibly move closer to my daughters is pretty exciting. Of course, so that's going to mean some changes that I'm going to have to make, and so there will be some risk involved with that, but it'll benefit my daughters greatly, I believe, for me to get over there. So like I said, Camp David's probably going to go up for sale. It is a beautiful 12-acre property attached to 2,000 acres or 7 miles of trail, state game area. So I'm going to pre-sell it for anybody watching. I love it out here, but I realize that I have an opportunity to get closer to the girls, and that's probably the right thing to do right now. So we'll see. There's a lot of moving parts when it comes to that. I noticed today, it's kind of funny, my setup moved backwards a little bit, and the lights are right like here, and so my dome is glowing. God, again, 4 months of doing this, and it's amazing to me to think of where I'm at right now compared to where I was in January, just with being comfortable. You know, I remember in January and February, you know, I couldn't even talk hard most of the time. When I was talking, it was just very heavy breathing, and not to say that my heart rate's not up, and actually you can see where it's at right now. It's at 145 beats per minute. But it's just amazing to, just a short period of time, 4 months in, and, my cardiovascular health is so much better already, just from doing this 3 days a week. And so that is great. And my blood work has come in pretty good. Now, I haven't been weighing myself, and I probably won't anytime soon, because I wasn't having the progress that I wanted. And so it was really deterring for me to continue to weigh myself. And I knew there was more benefits than just the scale. And so I just stopped weighing myself. It's that simple. But I understand through my blood work that what I'm doing is helping me dramatically in so many other ways that the scale isn't that important. Matter of fact, I know my surgeon would like to have me down to 244 pounds, but I think that we'll probably be okay. If we get in an emergency situation where I have to have the surgery earlier, then I think I'm feeling like everything's going to go pretty well. There were 2 factors that he wasn't comfortable with this last January with having the surgery. One, of course, was my weight, and had a lot of belly fat, and so he wanted that gone, and so he gave me this goal of getting my BMI down. However, which equated to 244 pounds. But the other concern was my blood sugar level, and though I didn't let him test me, he said that if it was high, he wasn't going to do the surgery anyways, because there's just too much risk, too much big risk. And so the fact is right now I actually have that all under control. So I haven't beat it. It's actually still a little high, but compared to where I was at in January, it's night and day. And that has a lot to do with what I'm doing here, staying out of the weight room and just riding my bike. I don't have a choice with the weight room right now because of the hernia that I have. And so that's one thing that I talked about a couple weeks ago, and that you have to realize that be careful of some of the goals that you set for yourself and be willing to adjust. Because if all I did was measure my weight and let that determine success, I probably would have stopped doing this. Now, yes, it did help that I committed to this 3 days a week, online, live training. However, again, even with that, I would have been bringing very negative energy, probably would have lost a lot of viewers, and would have eventually probably quit early. So be careful of what you measure. Luckily for me, I had experience going through this in 2012, and so I knew there would be other benefits. So even when I caught myself kind of feeling down about my progress, I was able to reach out to some other measurables, which in my case was my blood work, and see that what I was doing was actually helping me. So even though maybe everything wasn't perfect, and I wasn't winning on the scale, I sure as heck was winning on some of the other and in some cases more important measurables. So those of you that are out there training, and especially us older people, and you're trying to get healthier and you want to look better or whatever your reason is, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you get into the doctor, get a physical, and get your blood work done, and do that at least every 6 months as far as blood work goes, and keep track of the progress that you're making. It will be amazing. You'll be amazed at what you're able to do. And there's some things you may not even realize that that you just don't have enough in you. For instance, for me, it was vitamin D. I sit at a desk 8 to 10 hours or more a day and don't see sunlight as often as a lot of you. And so I take supplements for that. And of course, with heart health, when you're taking heart medicine, there's some other supplements that will be recommended just to make everything work a little better. So even if you've taken medicine in the past and it hasn't made you feel very good, you can take, I think it's called CQ10. And for me, that's made my medicine not suck. So it's important. Of course, if you don't like your doctor, get a new one. I'm kind of in that world right now where I'm not thrilled with the person I'm using. And I haven't been probably since the beginning. But I started this process and needed answers, and I didn't want to be jumping from doctor to doctor. But now that we've kind of settled in, I'm going to start looking for somebody new. And of course, if I move over near my kids, that's probably when I'm going to just wait until then and then find somebody local to where they live. So we live in a semi-small town, so when you jump from doctor to doctor, you know, it's not like you're not going to run into them. You will. And so for me, it'll be a little more comfortable when I don't live here to switch over. 45 minutes in, 18 kilometers. Whew. I don't know where I need to land. I don't understand this kilometer stuff that well, guys. I actually use it because I was told early on from other people that use this program, Zwift, that it doesn't like, it likes to use the metric system as opposed to the imperial system. It just seems to work better interactively. And so whether that's true or not, I didn't argue with them. I just went ahead and took their advice and have done it. And so I don't know how far I've went. I always look, you know, my Strava app actually measures it in miles so I can see it later. I think I average around 14 to 15 miles in an hour, which isn't great. When I'm out on the road, I do much better. But I kind of race my own time on a couple of the routes that I ride. And so I have a 20-mile route that goes from Columbiaville, Michigan to Millington and back. And though it may be impossible, I have this goal of completing that 20 miles in an hour, so I'm always pushing for it. And I think I average right now, when I'm in better shape, around an hour and 12 minutes, I think was my best, maybe hour and 10 minutes, which is still pretty good, especially for somebody my size. But back then when I got those speeds, I was riding a road bike only. And so it was geared better than this one for that type of riding. And now I ride a gravel bike, which only has a 9-speed cog on it. And the tires are a little bigger so that I can go through, you know, dirt and different types of surfaces as opposed to the little skinny tires that a road bike has. So, though I haven't ridden this bike on that trail, I don't think yet, I don't suspect I will get anywhere close to my average. But if I can hit an hour, you know, an hour and 15 minutes for the 20 miles or better, then that would still be pretty good, especially at my current weight. I don't know what I weigh, but I'm sure I'm still close to 300 pounds. Even though most of my clothes are fitting looser, I still have a lot of belly fat and spare tire fat. So, but I don't weigh myself, as I said, because it doesn't make me feel good. So, and I'm still, you know, and I'm still fighting with overeating. It's not that I'm necessarily always eating bad things. It's just that I'm eating too much of it in most cases. So instead of a small fistful of mixed vegetables, you know, I may eat a couple bowls worth, or a family size worth in some cases. So that's just some things I'm working on. Those are all mental. Those aren't me needing to eat it. It's all mental. So today we're gonna actually have to get off a little bit earlier. I'd like to finish the hour, but I'm not gonna be able to. So we're gonna finish up a little bit. I've got something that just came up. So we are going to we are going to do what we always do, which is finish this ride off with a big push. So let me get the bike up and rolling, and then we'll see how many watts we can knock out. I always have this internal goal of cranking up to 1,000 at least. I didn't get there. That's all right. I appreciate you guys for being here. We will see you on Friday. Peace.